welcome you once again to the Way Network and another episode of our lectures. First of all, I want to thank all our cherished viewers all over the world, in Ghana and abroad, for your enormous support. I know it's been a while a video came out, but as I always say, we just don't do things anyhow because we just want to get out there. We always want to bring you something which is relevant, something which is workable, something that will bring benefit to your life. And we need to make sure whatever we bring to you, to our audience, are time tested. So we need to take our time and go through the necessary research and do the necessary feasibility work to make sure that whatever we bring out is authentic and it is applicable. That is why sometimes we need to go in recession for a while before we come up with some videos. So I just want to thank you for your patience. Those who have been sending me messages, when are we coming out with the video? It's been a while and all those things. I appreciate your concern. I appreciate your interest. But as I've said, this is how we do things. So I just want to say thank you once again. To all our viewers in Ghana, I say thank you. Those outside the country, in US, Canada, Belgium, Germany, Europe as a whole, I just want to say thank you for your support and for your assistance. I say God bless you. Today, we are going to talk about something which is just an extension of our previous video on the effect of color, the ruling planets, and their influences. But this time around, we are going to look at it. In the previous videos, we talked about how they influence our character and our fortunes and our way of doing things. But this time around, we are going to look at it more from a health perspective, because life must be in a state of balance. Or as you progress physically, spiritually, you must progress psychologically too. And health-wise, you must progress. So as we always say, we give a holistic approach to existence, a holistic approach to life. We give you physical, health, emotional, psychological, and spiritual training or teachings for the collective good of your well-being. So today, we are going to look at color, just like we looked at it in the previous lecture, but from the aspect of health and how we can use color to heal ourselves, and the effect of color on our lives in terms of our emotions and in terms of our health. So that's what we are going to look at today. So today, we are talking about the influence of color on our health and diet, because we are what we eat, and the things we eat will determine whether we're going to get a healthy life or an ill life or a life of disease. And whatever we take in will determine what we bring out. So as I said within the IT fraternity, garbage in, garbage out. That is what you put in, is what you bring out. So we are looking at the influence of color on our health and diet. We say color, as we see it, is basically the external expression in terms of pigmentation that brings about sensation to people that the color is having effect on. So what is that? Whatever you see or whatever you look has a way of affecting your sensation, that either spiritually, physically, emotionally, or health-wise. So either it is influencing you negatively or it is influencing you positively. And color is one of the most profound things in creation. It's one of the most profound things in the universe that has profound effect on our lives. There are times you just see certain colors and you are happy, and certain colors makes you sad. Because color, as you see it as just pigmentation, it has its own resonation. It's vibrating. And if you listen to our previous video, if you not watch it, look for it and then listen to the whole lecture. And you find out the rate at which color is traveling and the rate at which color is vibrating and resonating. And each color you see has a resonation effect, and we have treated that in our previous video. So what we need to understand is that color that you see are just not ordinary pigmentation that is giving an external attribute of objects or things, but also it's having a sensational effect on the observer and whoever is watching or perceiving those colors. So it's either having effect on you emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, or health-wise. And color does not only operate within our physical space. Color operates in all the various dimensions and all the various planes. So if you have traveled through the planes of spiritual consciousness, you realize that each level you go has the resonation color. That is why when you watch the chakras or the energy centers, when it comes to personal spiritual development or the development of the self, we have what we call the energy centers, which in the Eastern Sanskrit, they call it the chakras. And rather, the chakras all have certain colors that represent the chakras. And we have 7 colors that represent the chakras. And we have 7 colors of the rainbow. And everything under manifest creation is being influenced by these 7 colors. And these 7 colors are divided into 2 groups. We have the magnetic colors and we have the electrical colors. And don't forget that we human beings, we have 2 energies controlling our personality. And that is our magnetic nature and our electrical nature. And our magnetic nature and our electrical nature is being influenced by the sensation of these colors. And everything within manifest creation takes its manifestation or takes its external pigmentation or its external attitude in terms of appearance and pigmentation from these 7 colors. And these 7 colors constitute what we call the rainbow. And these 7 colors are found in what we call our aura. And our aura is the spiritual energy that surrounds our personality. So our aura could be coarse or could be fine, could be darkened or could be light. All depends on the resonation of the way of life we live and the kind of energies we attract to ourselves. And all is represented in the form of colors. So when you have somebody aura being dark, it has its own meaning. But today we are not treating aura. So I'm not going to talk about its meaning in terms of color, in terms of aura. But we're going to treat color in terms of aura. But this time we are talking about color in relation to health and diet. So when you have somebody aura being white, it has its meaning. Being black, it has its meaning. Being violet, it has its meaning. Being orange, has its meaning. Being violet, indigo, blue, green, all has its meaning in terms of the aura. Likewise, in our health and in our lives, it's being influenced by the kind of colors we have relationship with. When we take our diet system or we take our food, we realize that food comes in different colors. And the kind of color of food you eat determines the kind of influence and the kind of healing you're going to have. So you realize tomatoes is red, carrot is orange. You realize that aubergine is purple or violet. You know that we have blueberries. Mango is orange. Banana is yellow. So we have different arrays of colors in our physical manifestation. And the spectrum of colors that controls our diet determines the kind of benefit our body derives from eating those food. So we eat to heal ourselves. We don't eat to make ourselves diseased. When you eat food, you must feel at ease in your body. And I always tell people that if you're very sensitive to yourself, one of the signs you notice in diet is that anytime you are eating food which is properly prepared in love, that is one aspect of it. The non-physical aspect of the energy of food must be prepared in love. And the other aspect of it has to do with the kind of ingredients and the color structure of the ingredients that constitutes the makeup of the food. When you eat a food which is well balanced, that means prepared in love with the right balance scheme of ingredients in terms of color, be it having both the magnetic and electrical color scheme present in your food, you notice that one of the first things you notice in your body is that you don't feel thirsty when you are eating. So you can eat and you don't feel like drinking water. But when you are eating a food which is a junk food, most of the time, because your body rejects that food, you need water to push it down your throat. And that is why a lot of people, when they are eating, they drink water. Because most of the food we eat are not conducive and are not well received by our body. Because our body is an internal form of our external expression. So whatever we see externally has a nature within ourselves. So whatever we pick from externally of ourselves and we are putting internally must be in a perfect resonance of the energies that are within ourselves. Then it will be well received. But when what we put in are not well received, that means that it is not good for our body. And that is why most of the time, junk foods, when we eat it, we drink a lot of water. But when you eat a well-balanced diet that has all the salads, all the various colors and everything in it, which is prepared out of love, you can eat and you don't feel thirsty. So this is how color affects our diet and affects our health. So going forward, we are going to see what color affects what aspect of our lives. We are going to look at the positive aspect of our lives and the kind of healing effect it has on our lives, and the kind of foods when you eat, you are going to derive this benefit from it. This is all we are going to look at today, or the teaching you are going to do, so that now you cook consciously. You just don't cook because you want to have something on the table. And a lot of people are dying today because of the way we eat. We don't eat well. So if you don't make your food as it being said regularly, if you don't make your food become your medicine, one day medicine will become your food. What it means is that if you don't eat healthy, so that the food you eat will be a medicine that heals and cures your body, one day you begin to take medicine, prescriptions, as if they are food for the body. And our body is designed in such a way that it has to heal itself with appropriate nutrition. But because of self-aggrandizement and self-gain, a lot of this knowledge are being pushed to the background. I ask myself, why is it that when you go to the hospital, I always discuss it with some of the doctors I know. Why is it that when patients comes to the hospital, you don't advise them on things that they should eat so that they don't get sick? When you go to hospital, you are sick, they just give you medicine. Go take the medicine. You go back to your bad eating habits. You get sick and you come up to the hospital again. Because he knows that when he tells you the appropriate diet system or the correct diet system for your body, you will hardly get sick. And how is he going to make his money? And that's what I'm saying, that in order to be a very good medical practitioner, you need to have a lot of love. Because if you don't have love, you can never be a good practitioner. Because things that you are supposed to tell your patients so that the patient never gets sick, because you don't have love and compassion in your heart, you always wish your patient is sick so that you make money for yourself. And that is the problem of medical industries today. And the medical industry is pushing junk. It baffles my understanding that you see somebody sick in the hospital on drip, on prescription, and they ask him to drink soda. Sometimes it beats my imagination, because these are drinks with artificial colorants with high levels of sugars. And this high level of sugars break down your immune system. So when you're on admission and you are taking soda, what happens is that you recuperate or you recover very slowly. So you have to spend a longer time in the hospital, paying a lot of hospital bills, paying a lot of accommodation bills, and paying a lot of bed bills to the hospital. because your recuperation or healing becomes very slow. Because as they administer the medicines, you take in these sodas, and the sodas breaks down your immunity. So what we actually need as a people to survive and to lead a healthy, disease-free life is to eat in combination, or we should eat in alliance with the colors that rule our physical cosmos. And we have these two colors, the primary colors of light and the primary colors of pigment, which constitute the magnetic colors and then the electrical colors. But the magnetic colors, which gives you your magnetic balance, gives you your vibration, and then your electrical self gives you the healing ability. So when you take things like lemon, lime, and all those, they give you electrical energy. Alkaline food gives you electrical energy, whereas the base foods gives you magnetic energy. And these two comes together to give you a healthy life. And you live in a well-balanced state. So you realize that sicknesses goes further away from you. That you need to get sick so that the medical industry makes money. So they wouldn't tell you what food you need to eat and how to eat. You must learn and know how to eat and what to eat. I'm not here to talk about what to eat. I am looking at the psycho-spiritual aspect of diet. So that, because when you are healthy, that is where you can do a proper spiritual exercise in order to discover who you are. And all these things are part of the journey of self-realization, self-discovery. Because now you get to know what food is good for you and what food is not good for you. And all we are talking about is yourself. Which colors is appropriate for your well-being and which color is not appropriate for your well-being? How do you have your influence? Which colors positively influence you and which colors negatively influence you? It's all about yourself. So everything we teach in or at the Way Network is about personal development in different spheres. Same thing in variety, because life is constitute variety. So we are trying as much as possible to have an holistic approach to our lectures so that people that listen to our audience would have a perfect balanced life. And this is what we endeavor to do. And that is why today we are bringing you something related to health and diet. Because trust me, if you are not healthy, there's no way you can sit down and meditate. If you are not healthy, there's no way you can do good prayer, because you need concentration, you need a balance in thoughts, in your mind, in spirit, and body in order to do your spiritual practice. So it is very essential and very necessary to know these things. So we are going to go right onto our board. Since this is a school, the Way Network is a school we are teaching people. And what we teach here are practical, relevant things that will bring you liberation, physically, psychologically, and spiritually. So we are going to the board and then pick our lectures in full. Now, today, as I told you earlier on, the topic we are talking about is the influence of color on our health and diet. What I want you to understand is that the greatest problem of humanity, especially we in the 21st century, in terms of health, is diet. Actually, let me write it in capital. Is diet. This is our biggest problem. Our biggest problem, the biggest problem of humanity, especially in the 21st century, is diet. Why? Because diet has become a big problem. Because whether we live or die, it depends on what we eat. Whether we live healthy or die ill depends on what we eat. And diet has become a big issue, a big industry for people who are self-centered and selfish. So the giants in the industry, the big players of the industry, have created a circle that they control, and all is coming from the elite society in order to make amounts work for themselves. So the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the pharmacy industry, the food industry. When I say food, it includes beverages and everything, and the media. This is the cycle I'm talking about. This is the industry, and they control what you, because what you eat will determine how your life will be like. You see, what you eat will determine how your life will be like. So, how does it start? All begins from here. This is where it starts from. This is where it starts from. This is where it starts from. So, the big players is in this industry produces things which are unconducive for our system, because they are more artificial based and they are cheaper to produce, and they sell it at high cost in order to maximize profits. Then what they do is that they work with these companies, these two departments, to promote what they produce. So the media sells their package, and the medical industry is quiet. But when you eat the artificial things they produce, which is ill to your health, you become sick. And when you become sick, these people in this department makes money. And when these people makes money by through consultation and diagnosis, they send you to go and buy drugs. They make money. So you buy the drug from pharmaceutical companies. You get the whole thing. Then you go back and watch your television, and your television keeps advertising all those products to be healthy and good. And you go back eating them, and you get sick again. And you go back to the hospital. The hospital tells you to go and buy medicine. After you bring the medicine and you are healthy, you go home, sit behind your television, and the media keeps selling the junk to you. So you see, they keep you in this circle of life, sickness, drinking medicine, coming back home, eating junk, getting sick, going to the hospital, getting prescription, taking medicine, coming back home, getting healed, going back to the television, watching the media publicity, going back to the junk food. So they keep you in this circle. So you're going round and round and round like that. And it's a huge industry. Because the food industry itself is a huge industry. Because anything that has to do with consumer, the first on the pinnacle of the triangle of consumption is food. You can do away with everything, but food and water is something humanity cannot do away with. And that is the most viable investment anybody can enter into. That is if it consonates with your elements and your vibration. So this is how our life has been made. And to be able to break off from this circle, the first thing you have to do is to begin to question what you eat. You must begin to question what you eat. Everything that lies on your plate that you are going to consume, you have to ask yourself a question. Is this conducive for my system or not? This is the beginning of your health. If you are gluttonous and you just eat anything which is provided for you, then you will have a problem. Then you'll be enslaved to the system. There are times I go buy food. As soon as I get home and I put on the table, they just tell me, do not eat this food. And many times, I think last 2 weeks, one of our members bought me food. And when he bought the food, I was there. I don't know what happened. I just told her, tell him to give to this person. And that is how we need to live our life. You have to be intuitively connected that anything that goes into your system, you should be conscious of it and it should be approved by yourself. You don't have to turn your system to be a dumping ground. Most people live their life and eat as if their body is a dustbin. It's an incinerator. It's a dumping field. That anything called food will go inside. Anything called food will go inside. Not taking any assessment. It's like a dumping field or a landfill. Anything they go, well, it doesn't reject anything. Good, bad, ugly, or it accepts it. But we can't live our lives this way. And you live all your life. You work, make a lot of money, go through this harsh condition within material creation. And all that you earn at old age, you spend it on medical bills. How can you live such a life? Yet you can live a very strong life, grow old well, with spiritual protection and spiritual practice, with good health system. You die peacefully. You just go and lie down one day and say, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Or you talk to them, what? You just go to sleep and you are gone. There are a lot of people who have died that way. It is because now our eating system is polarized. People suffer before they die because their organs and everything has been destroyed. And when you live your life such way, that is what happens to your end. We need to live healthy. And in order to have a healthy life, as I told you, the first thing or the first point of God is to question anything that enters into your system. Because understand that your body is a temple. And if your body is a temple, it does not need to take in junk. And we'll come to the colors, but the first of the junk that goes into your system is animal products. That's the first of all the junk. Because when you eat animals, meat, chicken, whatever you call it, you've turned your body into a graveyard for dead animals. But you're not a burial ground, you are a temple. So you don't have to send in dead things into your system. You have to send in things that are alive. That gives life. Because the temple is a place you go to have life. And there is life in the temple. So that's why a lot of churches don't send dead bodies into the temple or the synagogues or the church room, because it's not a place for dead things, it's a place for life things. So one of the first things you have to check is animal products, because the human anatomy, if you look at the human anatomy and the way our structure is designed by nature, we are not supposed to eat meat. When I say animal product, I'm talking about meat with its associating products. We're talking about meat. So now you understand this second. Let me get it off. Quickly, then we come to the main topic. I want to touch on the salient point that will balance your consciousness in terms of diet so that you know what you're talking about. So when you talk about animal products, animal products, the first thing we're talking about, what actually we're talking about is meat consumption. Meat consumption is the first killer in your system. Because you see, by virtue of creation, everything operates within its space. Now, when you cross from your space to a different space, you're going to have problems. So when you look at it, we have herbivorous being, and carnivorous beings. Okay? Well, I don't know where omnivorous came from, because the system has always created something to justify their indoctrination. So they say that herbivores are animals that eat plants. Carnivorous are animals that eat meat or flesh. Herbivorous are animals that eat both meat and flesh. So we human beings, they say we are omnivorous. So now let us take the characteristics of one. First of all, let's leave out omnivorous. Let's take the characteristics of herbivorous beings against carnivorous beings, and then we'll see what are the characteristics of omnivorous beings. You got to know that omnivorous beings have no characteristics within manifest creation, because everything is in polarity. We don't have three dimensions in manifest creation. Everything within manifest creation, whether it's male or female, good or evil, right or wrong, up or down, north or south, east or west, everything is in polarity. So I don't know where this third force is coming from. Now I know you are thinking, and you are getting to know where this third force is coming from. It's coming from the realm of indoctrination and control, to program your thoughts so that you can fall as a bait to their interest. So now let's look at herbivorous beings. The herbivores naturally has flat molars. Herbivores naturally has flat molars. So the back teeth, what we call the molar, is flat. The reason why they have flat molars is that because their teeth is designed to grind like vegetables and stuff like that. So they have flat molars. They don't have that fangs, that teeth that used to crack bones. And they have longer intestines. So you realize that when you kill a cow has a longer intestine. When you kill a goat has a longer intestine. A human being has a longer intestine, because our intestine is about 9 times our height. And likewise, all other herbivorous beings. Now, we human beings has flat molars, just like the goat, the cow, and all animals has flat molars. Now, let's come to rational. I don't want to go deep, because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about vegetarian, but I'm talking about the color. So let's go. Now, when you come to carnivorous beings, you see, carnivorous beings have sharp molars. Their molars are sharp because they are designed to crack bones. And they have shorter intestines. The reason why their intestines is short is that meat is very difficult to digest. So as meat is very difficult to digest, their intestines has to be short so that it can quickly come out of their system, so it doesn't keep long in their system. So now, if meat takes a longer time to digest and you have a very long intestine, and a carnivorous being has a very short intestine, when a carnivorous eats meat or flesh, it easily flushes it out. It doesn't keep much time in the system, or it doesn't keep too long in the system. But you that you are a herbivorous being, when you eat a meat and enters into your system, it's going to take a very long time to get out of your system. And sometimes it actually never comes out, and you eat more and you eat more. When that happens, you are creating what you call toxins. And the only source of sickness to humanity is what? Toxins. When your system builds up toxins, then your system now becomes unease with the toxins in the system. Then when your system becomes unease with the toxins in the system, then you have what you call disease. Then when you are diseased, you need to go to the hospital to make you what? At ease. This is all. So medicine is just to make you at ease because you are feeling diseased. And you are feeling diseased because you have toxin buildup in your system. And the reason why the toxins are built up in the system is because you put in the wrong stuff into the wrong place. That is why our system is designed by nature, by the cosmic or sublime law of intelligence, that everything that comes out, the toxins must be flushed out. So you sweat to flush out toxins, you urinate to flush out toxins, you go to a laboratory to flush out toxins. If you're unable to flush out toxins, then it begins to affect your kidney, affect your liver, and affect your vital organs, affect your bowel, urinary tract, and all those things. Then all those diseases begins. All because there is toxins in your system that is unable to flush out. This is the problem of humanity. So if you're able to check what you eat, and when you eat what you are designed to eat, it flushes. So that's why when you take the greens, the vegetables, and those light food, every morning you pass bowels very easily. And when you drink adequate water, your urine is white. You get the whole thing. So by so doing, because you pass adequate urine and you pass adequate stool, you always discharge the toxins in your system. And because of that, your body is always at ease. So you don't need to be diseased to go and see a practitioner to heal you. This is the whole concept. This is what I want you to understand. Try it and see. Because I'm talking about, I said everything I tell you is based on practical. Because I was a heavy meat eater. I'm the type who goes to a restaurant or something and buy a bowl of soup with meat and just eat it. And I know what I suffered until I came to the path of spirituality, became a vegan, and I have been a vegan for so many years. You see, and I saw the relief that came with it. When you begin to build toxins, then you have hypertension, diabetes, erectile dysfunction, sexual infertility, and all the things more than 90% of the things you experience in your life is based on lifestyle. It's based on lifestyle. That lifestyle you have creates toxins in your system. So when you take in excess alcohol, that excess alcohol creates toxins in your system. Your body is not designed to take in hard liquor, because liquor, when you look for the word alcohol from the which is spirit, from the Greek word spiritus, it says the devourer of the flesh, because it's the drinks for the spirits. So when you drink it into the mortal body, it will devour you. You see, so when you take in excess of that, it creates toxins in your system. When you are young, you wouldn't see, you wouldn't know. But by the time you hit 45, getting to 50 years, then you see the adverse effect. By then, unfortunately, by then, you are heading towards the last part of your age, which I call the grace period, which somebody sang and so call that period hand to mouth. But that's not the time you can do hard work to reverse the situation. Your organs are weak. Everything about you is weak. So what you need at that level is divine grace. Because the life that we live comes in phases, and we must understand the dimensions and the phases of the human existence. There are things when you get to a certain level, there is no way you can do it. Because the time space that the universe provides you with that opportunity and that divine provision is gone. And everything within manifest creation is intelligently programmed and is evolving. There's no going back. You see, so if you don't take good care of your life, and you don't eat consciously, and you don't eat with awareness, and your food does not become, you don't eat as if you are eating medicine for the body to heal the body. When you reach that age, you begin to drink medicines as your food. Because every day when you wake up in the morning, you see pack of medicines. You take this, you take that, you take that, when you have not eaten. And this is not the kind of life you are supposed to live. And it's a life you wouldn't like it. But when you are not there, you wouldn't know. My father will tell you that You don't know the effect of negligence and irresponsibility in life until you are a victim to it, when you cannot reverse the situation. So please, for the love that I have for all the followers of the Way Network, that is why the universe put in my, the intelligence put in my heart to treat this stuff there. Because when you go to a lot of people are getting sick. A lot of people are getting sick. I remember my little boy, when he was getting sick. So one day a friend of mine took me to one pharmacist, and he told me, stop giving him sugar. And he said a teaspoon of sugar a day breaks down the humidity by half. And look at all these sodas and the amount of sugar which is put in the. I don't want to mention names because we are dealing with brands. But look at all these soda drinks and the amount of sugar that constitute this soda. And now when our kids are going to school, every morning soda, every morning soda, every morning soda. We are killing our children slowly. All in the name of what? Civilization. You call this civilization? I call it unenlightenment. So if you don't eat soda, if you don't have soda in your kid's bag, you are poor. I remember one day one of my kids' class teacher told me that, oh, when your son is coming, at least give him some drink and all those things, because when the children are drinking and he has, I said, look, I may be able to afford more than what other people afford in the class, but it's my son and I know what I am doing. He's a child. Once he will cry, so once in a while I buy him one soda drink. But as soon as I buy one soda drink, a couple of days, I know a system that I give them to patch the system out of from those soda effect. So now you see children, 12 years, 8 years, 13 years, they have hypertension, they have diabetes. Look at now, I just don't understand. Look at noodles. Now all the media publicity about food are things that will destroy and kill us. And they give a very nice presentation. And because people lack knowledge, they buy into the lies. That's why the Bible says that for lack of knowledge, people perish. And you are perishing because it's to the point that what you don't know are the things that are destroying you, not the things you know. And because they know you are ignorant of diet, they take advantage of that system called diet to create a whole empire for themselves. I was reading an article, I've forgotten the article, and the researcher was he's a medical doctor, and he's trying to say that the amount of death that medicine and food has caused to human generation is more than all the world wars, all the accidents, and all the civil wars combined in our history. All the world wars you have made, World War I, World War II, all the civil wars you have witnessed, all the car accident, the plane crash and everything, put together in our dispensation, medicine and dieting system alone has killed people more than that. But because it's on a disguise, we don't know. So be aware, be informed. They don't have you at heart. You are just a guinea pig. They're using you for experimentation to enrich themselves. You get it? So please, let us understand. Later on, we'll treat other systems like the television and other areas. These are all things created to control the system and to make you vulnerable to be exploited. So this is how the system is like. Later on, we'll go much more deeper into dieting system, what you are supposed to eat, how to conduct your day and everything. So this is what you need to do. Make sure you eat food that will create less toxins. Make sure you don't have constipation. Because when you have constipation and you can't discharge toxins, the toxins accrue in your system. And the more they accrue in your system, they affect. Because the toxins, when they accrue in the system, they create bacteria. And then the bacteria begin to climb back into the various organs and all. That's why if you don't urinate frequently, the bacteria in your urine gets back to your bowel, gives you urinary tract infection, then it will affect your kidney and all those things. So you must always make sure you Eat kind of food that will naturally make you discharge the system. Minimize your intake of alcoholic content, because the body by itself through diet has a way it produces its own alcohol. Once a while, for a cheerful reason, you can take alcohol for a good occasion, but it shouldn't be a consistent lifestyle, because the point is that you are killing yourself slowly. And you should know one thing, that the body you have is a constitution of 4 elements. They are energies, but their energy, their vibrations at a lower and a dense form. Actually, there's nothing like physical. It's when the vibration is very slow and coarse, then become dense and solidified. But we are going to even account for this physical body. And the way we use it in this material consciousness will determine our next incarnation. Whether we are going to have a higher incarnation, an enlightened ascension, or we are going to come back to this world and suffer the more. It's a very complex but a very simple thing when you understand it. So be very cautious about the things you take and how you live your life on earth. So, bottom line, make sure the food you eat contains less toxins. And the only thing that keep your body free of toxins is staying away from animal products and alcohol and the sodas. Those are the things that keeps your body free from toxins. Then you consume more vegetables, because there's nothing like omnivorous. There's no third force in manifest creation. Manifest creation always operates on the principle of polarity: left, right, good, evil, right, wrong, male, female. So that is how it is. Herbivorous is feminine, carnivorous is masculine. That is it. There's nothing like omnivorous. It is a propaganda to indoctrinate you and to program your mind in order to get you to serve their interests. So that thing they taught us as school is falsehood. You ask me where did I read it? I didn't read it here, because you're not familiar. But when you go inside, you get the information there. But here they will not write it in the books. There's nothing like omnivorous. So get the system right and all those things. So now let us come back to, still let's leave the diet there, because diet is still the biggest problem of humanity. And it's a huge industry that people are cashing out on it. Or they bring all those junk food. So see, a lot of people, they're having constipation, because what do they eat? Burger. They come on every eat Indomie. All the children, all the women, they have pot belly when they are not pregnant, overweight, obese. All those things are coming from the junk food. You understand? Yes, we know obesity. There are certain obesities which are hereditary from DNA, that we know. People from the earth elements are naturally plumpy and obese in nature. But when you see somebody who is by nature, this obesity, there's strength in the obesity. You understand? That one is not even obesity, but the person has weight because of connection to the bull, and the bull naturally is a very, plumpy and a stout animal, and take attributes from that. You get the whole thing. But when somebody is loose and is filled with toxins and is bloating, it's a totally different thing altogether. So that is the biggest problem of our generation, is diet, and it is keeping us off balance. They are using food as a weapon. I don't want to go, when I want to go to, I can't take my topic, but if I want to go into it, where a whole document was written by a Department of Agric in one of the superpower nations, where they prepared a document. Should I mention names? Prepared a document, and they decided that they're going to use food as a weapon to control population growth. So they are creating kinds of food that will make people sick and people die quick. And that is why they will not wait for certain fruits and vegetables to ripe. They will pick it up when it's unripe, take it through chemical processes to make it ripe. And you go and buy it because it's very beautiful. When you go to the supermarket, it's nice. Now they get certain type of hormones and they inject it to the fruits you eat. They are killing you off slowly. This is a paperwork. It's an agenda. So you need to understand it. But in our small, we are letting you know, when you take it, it's going to be good for you. Because it's not even about the money you spend. I always tell people that when somebody is sick, it's not about the money even he spends at the hospital, but the pain, the agony, and the stress the person goes through when the person is sick. That is where my compassion is affected. Because that's not what we were created for. They said that when God has reduced our age to 70 years, who to do that? If God says that man should live 70 years, how come we are having people who are living 100 years? Are they violating the law of the Creator? If God says that we should live 70 years, nobody can cross 71 years. Don't let them deceive you. So now, if diet is our biggest problem in terms of our health, how do we eat in such a way that will bring us healing to our body? Now, the colors of the rainbow, we all know the colors and the 7 colors of the rainbow, we learned it at school, constitute all other things when it comes to color on earth. Spiritually, when I'm doing herbs, and I'm going to tear herbs and all those to do herb bath for people, you take even the colors of the flowers of the plant and everything tells you their so they tell you their vibrational frequency and what they can do and what they cannot do. Flowers is white, so when you want to clean somebody's aura, you pick white plants with white flowers and their vibration, because those who come violet and all those things to do the work. That's what we are talking about. But now we are talking about diet. So we have the 7 colors of the rainbow. We have red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet, and green. These are the 7 colors of the rainbow. And the 7 colors of the rainbow are divided into 2. Human beings are made up of magnetic energy and electrical energy. So we need the balance within ourselves to get that going. So as we made up of magnetic energy and electrical, and that's why sometimes you see when you use comb to comb your hair, after some time and you put it on iron filings, it can magnetize the iron filings because of your magnetic nature. And as we walk, when you say our energy, we use our magnetic field we resonate in our magnetic field, and we have electrical energy. That's why sometimes you can be when you have a good insulator, you can hold electric cable, live cable, and the power will run through you. And when they use a tester to touch your body, to light, because you're a conduit of electrical current. So these are the 2 things that we are made up of: the electrical current, that is the magnetic current, and then our electrical nature. So these 7 colors are grouped into 2 categories. We have 3 magnetic, 3 electrical. So with the electrical, we have the magnetic, and we have the electrical. Now under the magnetic, we have red, orange, and yellow. These are the magnetic colors. And when we come to the electrical colors, we have blue. When we come to we have blue, indigo, and we have violet. So we are like, these are the same shades and these are the same shades, because red, the indigo violet comes from the line of the blues, and then the orange yellow comes from the line of the reds. Now then it is left the green. Then we have the green here, which is our balance. So when you watch our previous video, the influence of the color panel, tell you green is a color of balance. It balances our soul, spirit, and body, our soul, mind, and body. So the green is a color of balance. So this is how our eating system must be like. And because green is the balance, we must always make sure that there's a green in our diet. And that is why living green or going green is very essential for the human survival on the planet Earth. Having a healthy life and having our planet restored all depends on the green, living green life. Because living green life is that which restores balance on the universe. So they say green building, green farming, green eating, green lifestyle. Totally, because it's the green lifestyle. The green lifestyle, they call it the green lifestyle is because the lifestyle of balance, because the green comes from the balance. And for our life to continue to exist on the planet Earth, we must live in a balance. Which I've treated it living in balance, the feminine and the masculine energy. So this is masculine, this is feminine, and this is where we have our balance. So this is how our eating habit, our eating system has to look like. So when our eating system is in a state of balance, we have the electrical food in our diet and we have the magnetic food in our diet, and then it sits on the greens, then we have our balance. Then we will be healthy people with healthy mind, with healthy spirit and soul. Then you know that you wouldn't be going to hospital as often as you go to hospital. You will be drinking medicine as often as you drink medicines. Because we eat to live, we don't live to eat. So this is the balance we are looking at. So please, you can screenshot it or write it down because we are going to move into it. So now we are going to look at the various colors, the kind of sicknesses that resonates with it and it heals, and the kind of food that when you eat, you are going to get that energy. So now you are going to first look at the magnetic side, then later look at the electrical side, then we'll take the balance, then we will end our today's lecture. So please, I'm taking it off the board. These things are what they are. Whether you believe it or not, if you don't want to waste your time at the hospital, go for a long queue and appointment. Now people take pride in going to hospital. Oh, I have an appointment with my doctor. That is the way they have been successful in indoctrinating you. They have been successful in indoctrinating to the extent that now you have grown to believe that living an unhealthy, diseased life is a new normal. And I don't know where that word new normal comes from. You see, so now we are going to look at the diet system. So the colors that I wrote, the 7 colors, we have the primary colors of light and we have the primary colors of pigment. And the primary colors of pigment has to do with the yellow, red, yellow, and blue. And the primary colors of light, which is the when you come to art, we call the RGB, the red, green, and blue, which produces the cyan, magenta, and yellow, which is the CMY, okay, with the black. So that is the aspect of the separation of color. We are not going to enter into details when it comes to color psychology. So but I just want to understand the various groupings of colors and their categories. So now you know that the 7 colors we have, 3 of them are magnetic, 3 of them are electrical, and 1 is the balance that holds all of them together. So we know that the magnetic colors are what? Red, orange, and yellow. The electrical colors are what? Blue, indigo, and violet. And the balance of it is the green. So let's put that at the back of our mind. Now, we are going to take it color by color to see how and what they do for us. So now we are going to take the magnetic colors. We are going to take the magnetic colors. And they are what? Red, orange, and what? Yellow. These are the magnetic colors. That are these colors of food when we eat affect our magnetic field and activate and elevate our magnetic field. So now let's just take the first one, which is red. Now the red, the kind of positive influences and the kind of diseases it's able to heal. Already we've treated when you go to our previous video. So if you've not watched that video, go back and listen to that. The influence of color, their ruling planets, and their influences. It talks about the colors, their resonation, their energy, and the vibration, and everything. So go there and listen. When you listen to it, you have a better appreciation and better understanding of this video. If you don't listen, because this is a continuation of that video, not directly continuation, but they are linked in properties. So now, so the red subjects over there, you see its resonation, vibration, its velocity, altitude, and the kind of attribute it resonates, and the planet that control the red color. So now we are going to look at the disease aspect of it and the kind of things it can cure. Let's look at the positive aspect. So the red has a positive resonation that deals with ailments, can handle ailments of blood stream. It can also handle anemia. It can handle cold, circulation or circulatory deficiencies, dizziness. Know that dizziness comes with poor circulation, irritability, irritability, fainting, because when you faint, all has to do with the blood circulation and blood issue. Fainting, headaches. Headaches also has to do with when you have poor circulation or stress. Heart enlargement all has to do with improper circulation. When the heart has to work harder due to improper arteries or arteries blockage or cholesterol issue, it begins to enlarge. A mental issue. Mental issues too has some level of relationship with blood circulation, because when blood is unable, because blood is that we carry oxygen to the brain through circulation. So when you have problem with your arteries and your veins or cholesterol issue and it's unable to carry oxygen to the brain, then you're going to have some mental issues, and issues have to do with stress. So that is when we deal with red. These are some of the illnesses with the red vibration of the magnetic field in your body, and when you eat those elements you can have benefit from them. Now let us see the kind of foods that gives you this magnetic energy from the red that gets you handle this thing without necessarily taking medicine. That means that when you eat these foods regularly, there's the chances of you not having these experiences is about 95% to 99%. That is when you constantly keep them in your diet. Now, the foods for red rays are red cabbage, red currant, radish, pepper, beetroot, onion, garlic, and tomatoes. When you eat these kinds of food, it's going to give you that magnetic vibration of the red, coming from the red. Okay, that has to do with illness relating to the bloodstream, anemia, cold, respiration. So even let's say normally when you eat hot pepper, you instantly realize that if your nose is blocked, you realize that you begin to have mucus flowing through your nose when you have a nose blocked. So these are issues. So when you eat, make sure you have a lot of these things in your food regularly. Then you're going to have more magnetic energy coming from the red rays. Now, the next one we have with the magnetic, this one is the orange. Okay. The orange has that curative ability and or positive influences in terms of ability to cure one, inflammation of kidney, gallstone, mental debility, cholera, diabetes, menstrual issues, chronic asthma, fever. Now is a fever which is related to flames, okay? Wet cough, gout, chronic rheumatism. So this, for all these sicknesses, is related to your magnetic field, okay, not your electrical field. So if you are eating, so I have watched a lot of lectures. So you must eat a lot of food that contains a lot of electrical energy and all those things. Yeah, you eat all those food, but if your sicknesses are connected to the magnetic aspect of your being and you eat a lot of electrical food, there's no way you're going to have the benefits. So that's why we take time to come up with the research work and everything. And this lecture, I donated to one of my masters, Maharaj, for taking me through, giving me an excellent tuition on this subject. It's Maharaj, his local name is Abiateji. Okay, he took me to this excellent, I gave me this and I've been on it for more than 15 years, and it has proven without fail. So this is the magnetic aspect of the orange. So all this sickness affects you due to lack of magnetic vibration, not electrical vibration. It's due to lack of magnetic vibration. So when you eat orange food, foods with that orange vibrational influence, and you know the vibration of orange color when you visit our previous lecture. So when you eat food with that orange color, that means you are assimilating that vibrational frequency that we have stated in the previous lectures. And then that means that you're gathering enough energy to be able to send these sicknesses away. Because we told you that everything in manifest creation is vibration and it is resonating. Now, let's look at some of the foods. Now we know, so I'll just cut it short. Foods. Now, some of the foods we are looking at is carrots, pumpkin, oranges, mangoes, tangerine, pine apples, pawpaw, and most vegetables with orange skin, they all fall in this category. So you cannot write all of them. We have thousands of species of vegetables with orange peels or orange skin. So when any vegetable with orange skin or orange peel, when you eat them, it gives you this magnetic frequency that we mentioned about orange, and then it gives you the energy to subside this effect. With the red color, there's something that I missed. If you want to connect to the non-physical vibration of that red color, okay, if you want to connect to the non-physical, when I say the non-physical, when you eat those foods, you get the physical vibration. But maybe what is happening to you is more psychological and it is not physical. It has not affected your physical body, but it is more of stress on non-physical level. And the stress level, you know, that non-physical level. So when you just have to have a red candle in red attire, you light a red candle, then you use it to pray. But we are not entering to that area here. But when you call upon us in the office, we can give you all those structures are there. And there's the mantras or the prayer. When we say mantra, I mean the divine prayer lines, which will give you. Then you just light a red candle, and whichever area of your life that you want the magnetic energy to take effect, you do that prayer with a red candle, or you wear red dress on the sun. You stand on the sun with a red dress to do that prayer, and going to have the same effect. You understand? But maybe you are in a jurisdiction where they have less sun periods, so maybe it's in winter or spring or autumn. Okay, so you don't have the sun. You can use the red candle with the prayer lines and other things we give you to get it done. So when you have this one accompanied, if you are already badly affected by the sickness, in order to speed up your recovery process with your medical prescriptions, you eat this food, go through this. If I told you that real sickness takes place from the non-physical aspect, because you need to heal the soul, because that's the cause from which the disease is coming from. So when the soul is healed, naturally the body follows suit. So you can do that one to aid the process of your medical treatment. And in no way this it stands in for your medical treatment. This is for educational purposes. Yes, we know it works, but it's for educational purpose. If you have any issue, see your medical practitioner, see your GP to diagnose you, to give you the prescription. When they diagnose you and you know the cause of the sickness, then you can use this as a supplementary way of life to beef up and to fasten your healing process. And now when you become healed, you stick to this process so that the sickness doesn't come back no more. You get it? So that is it. So it has no intention of replacing your medical treatment or whatever it is, but it is purposely for medication purposes that it will help you fasten up your healing process. So now with the orange, if you want to have a connection to the orange rays, when we talk about ray, we are talking about emission of energy. So when you want to have a connection to the orange ray, you just light one orange candle with your prayers. You can do your own prayer, or you can consult our office where we can. And when you consult our office, what we do is that we look at your date of birth, we look at your name. We combine so many. That's why I don't want to treat it here. We combine so many things to get you your specific prayer and mantra which best suits your radiation. So in order to help you go through the process, recuperate or get the energy that you have lost. Another way is that you can light your yellow candle, whichever prayer you want to do. Prayer is the power of the spoken word. It doesn't matter whether it takes a particular format or doesn't take a particular format. Once you say the prayer with faith and confidence, the power of the spoken word brings manifestation, because it first must begin with your intention, because out of intention comes manifestation. So once you conceive the intention, create a mental picture of what you want, visualize what you want, and speak it into being, it will manifest. That is the whole concept of prayer. So that is, so you get the yellow candle, sorry, the orange candle. Should it happen that you're unable to access an orange candle, you can light a red candle and a yellow candle all at the same time. But the red and yellow gives you what? Orange. So when you don't get just one orange candle, you can get one red candle, one yellow candle, and light them at the same time and do your prayer. You're still having the yellow ray radiance energy. So that's it. So now the last of the magnetic color vibration you are going to deal with is the yellow. So the last color of the magnetic, we've done with this one, we've done the red, now we're going to deal with the yellow. So now we have the yellow. Now, With the yellow magnetic field, you know it's energy radiation from our previous video, as I said. Now, these are the positive effect we have from it. One, it controls the digestive system, the digestive process. It controls the digestive process of both stomach and brain. It controls both the digestive system and stomach, because the brain also processes, digests information and processes the information, and the stomach also digests food for the body to assimilate food. So the yellow radiation magnetic color controls your digestive process in terms of stomach and the brain. It purifies your system through cleansing. It purifies your system through cleansing by way of eliminating toxins. You know, we talk about toxins, that when toxins is built in your system, then you're going to get sick or you're going to get disease. So the yellow radiant magnetic rays, what it does is that it helps the body discharge or get rid of toxins by cleansing the system through the liver and the intestines. It also cleanses the system, also cleans through body pores, improves texture of skin. I guess I'm getting the skin correct. Improves texture of skin, and then heals scars and other blemishes of the skin, of the skin. So you know that when you pick the color of turmeric, it's orange. Now, when you pick the color of turmeric, which is orange, the Indians normally use it for skin treatment. And it tells you that the orange is a magnetic vibration color which cleanses the body through pores, improves texture of skin, and heals scars and other skin blemishes. So no wonder the Indians use turmeric, where they use yellow on their faces, on their necks, and all those things to have skin treatment. So basically, that is what the yellow radiating color does. Now, food that contains this magnetic vibration of yellow is yellow pepper. You know, the bell pepper or the sweet pepper, we have the yellow type. So we have the yellow pepper, golden corn, banana, garden eggs, lemon, honey, yellow melon, and most vegetables and fruits with that yellow finishing or yellow appearance. So that is what. So when you eat these foods, you are going to derive that vibration frequency that helps you to suppress this ailment. This ailment, there are a lot of them. We're not going to write them because of time. They deal with stomach pain, digestion, constipation, flatulence, liver troubles. It also deals with diabetes, piles, nerve exhaustion. So when you eat these things and you have nerves problem, nerve exhaustion, sometimes then you have problem with your nerve and you are shaking all those. When you eat this kind of food, it increases your magnetic energy in terms of these areas, and then you put some of these sicknesses on hold. As I told you, it's not supposed to serve for your medical treatment. So if you have a medical issue, you have to seek professional medical advice, and then you can support your practice, your prescription, or your medical process with this one, because these are natural things you have to eat. These are natural things, and you need to eat melons, you need to eat carrots, you need to eat onion, and all those things. So it's not going to have any side effect with your medicine. But we don't intend to make it replace your medical treatment. So if you have a medical issue, please consult your general practitioner, the GP, or the specialist for proper diagnosis and appropriate medication, which when you get out of it, don't live the life that will send you back there again. I went to the hospital. I think I sent one of my kids to the hospital, and the receptionist was telling me that there was something we were discussing. I think my balance or something. I told her, next time. I thought there's not going to be next time. He said, next time when you come. I told her, there's not going to be next time. Why would you think next time I should come back again? Because in the industry, so I need to go get sick and come back again. So I have to use my positive affirmation to them. There's not going to be next time. I got admitted twice after some time. The very clothes I wore on that admission and the next admission, I came home and I threw it away. I said, I'll never wear it again because it has picked the energy of the hospital. So I don't want to put it on again because everything is vibration and frequency. I understand how things work in this material world. And when I did so, it has helped me. I save money now. So now we finished with the magnetic field. And I don't know if I should take commercial break or shall I should continue because I look a little bit stressed out. So let me freshen up a little bit, get some water, relax a little bit, and then we come back and take the electrical aspect of it, and we take the conclusion, which is the balance aspect of it. And so stay glued, don't go away. We'll come back with the part 2 of this video. Thank you for your time, and God bless you.